Superman Legacy is set to begin production early next year, hopefully, because there's all these controversy and always some kind of thing going on. So let's say hopefully next year it's going to start production. Now, some people, including myself, are skeptical of James Gunn version of what he may make of Superman. And with shows like My Adventures with Superman out there attempting to not only warp the way people think about Superman and what it is going on with the character, it's not uncommon for people to be somewhat concerned in regards to what is happening. However, one comic book legend has come out and spoken about, what he thinks would be a good idea and how he would go about doing the man, or you go about, putting Superman on the big screen in a way that fans would enjoy. Let's take a look at what it is the legendary Chuck Dixon has to say in this article here from Bounding into Comics. Former DC writer Chuck Dixon explains what's wrong with modern Superman and how he would fix it. Oh, there are so many things wrong. So many. James Gunn is the next in line to try and give Superman an upgrade in his reboot that won't enter production until next year, hopefully. But a lot of you out there wonder if he's the right man for the job. Well, I'm one of those people. Like I said, I'm very concerned about it, but I hope myself up to be wrong if possible. He doesn't do himself many favors when his story seems to change every week as to what Superman Legacy is. Yeah, that's not a good look. A workplace origin story sounds like a good start at first glance. However, that is such an abstract idea that Gunn might fumble and thus fail to bring the Man of Tomorrow back to his roots. Casting updates indicate Legacy is going to be cluttered, which, while that doesn't mean it will turn into an unfocused mess, the risk is there. Yeah, because you've got Superman, you've got Hawkgirl, you've got Mr. Terrific, you've got Guy Gardner, Green Lantern, and you've got Metamorpho. And that's only what we know about. There may be more coming in. We don't know, because it was rumored that, he's going to, that Superman is going to be going up against the Authority. But they say that might have just been a misdirect, but it's possible it still might be. So we might end up getting this giant cluster of heroes in this one show, in this one movie, which I think is troubling. Because we want to do a Superman movie. Your first movie should be about Superman and Superman alone. That's what I think. But let's see what goes on here in this article. Gunn might not know what fans want either, despite how long he has been one. It's possible that, one possible in getting influence from the other people around him, or it could just be, bad Hollywood, influence. When you look at the kind of shows and movies that are being greenlit these days and keep failing miserably, you got to wonder at some point. Anyway, dozens of other fans and creators could have better ideas to put Superman back on top here. One who joined in the past that Gunn is in over his head, writer Chuck Dixon has a pitch for what he thinks could work. I am just saying, you see, characters like DC characters are different from Marvel characters. And like DC characters are kind of like gods, if you think about them. They're kind of like gods. And Marvel characters are a little more grounded. But, so you have to do, so a character like Superman, you have to do him the correct way, or else it's not going to work out in the long run at all. But let's see what Chuck Dixon has to say. Dixon is mainly associated with Batman. Hold on. But he has known DC's pantheon of characters up and down his entire career. As a lifelong fan of all things Superman, such as the Max Fletcher cartoons, he's known what he wants to see in the next movie. It starts with giant robots, something a few pining for the unmade Superman limbs would like to hear. This is what Chuck Dixon had to say, my opening scene would be Superman versus a giant robot. That might actually be pretty cool. It's done really well. He goes on, I want to see Superman versus a giant robot. Superman used to fight giant robots all the time. I love the Fletcher cartoon where he fights the magnetic monsters. And wouldn't you, with a scene like this, learn everything you wanted to know about Superman in a few minutes? Deep down, you wouldn't want to see a Superman film that doesn't open like that, in a pseudo James Bond opening that moves on with the story from there. If you do it in such a way that it starts up with a normal little thing, leave Krypton and all that stuff, come there, and then but you don't have to linger on that too long so everybody knows what's happened and what's going on. But when it opens with Superman actually fighting a giant robot, or more than one giant robot, you kind of get the idea of, okay, this guy is powerful, he could fly, maneuverability, his thinking, all these things kind of just come in with just that one scene. So yeah, that would actually be pretty interesting. You don't get to see Superman fighting giant robots much anymore. The ensuing challenge, forming the heart of the plot, would be a threat to Metropolis and the Earth even Superman might have trouble stopping. Okay, that's kind of what you're looking for, yeah. However, he would use his strength and intelligence to defeat evil and surmount whatever peak he has to climb. That's the formula. It's not that hard, Dixon said. Now, let me just focus on one part here that I think a lot of people tend to miss. And that is intelligence. This is something a lot of people don't focus on enough when it comes to Superman. You look, for instance, at my adventures with Superman. He's basically a bonehead. That's pretty much the way to put it. But anytime you're doing Superman, you have to remember, yes, he is the most powerful man on Earth, but he's also incredibly smart. And his intelligence needs to be balanced. I'm not saying that, he can't be tricked or he can't be duped. Yes, it can happen. But intelligence-wise, he will be smart enough to know how to maneuver things out, how to work things out, how to deal with certain situations. And if you do that really well and show Superman learning as he moves along and grows, the audience would actually grow with him. So when you're doing a movie or a TV series, let's just say with the movie for when you're doing a movie when it comes to Superman, as he says here, there's a threat to Metropolis and the Earth that even Superman might have trouble stopping, but he ends up using his strength and intelligence to defeat evil and surmount whatever peak he has to climb. Superman is the definition of literally overcoming whatever threat is thrown at him. That's what it is you need to work with. That's what people will say, well, okay, this is cool, you like this character. Yes, that's how you do it. It's not that hard. But that's just the way that, a lot of them don't tend to focus on that at all. Let's go on with whether there's just this. The next question he read, how Dixon would fix Man of Steel's ending dovetails with all of the above. He answered that Superman would find another way to beat Zod without killing him. Yeah, I never liked that thing with Superman having to kill General Zod. I thought that was just ridiculous. In my opinion, I think what would have been much more realistic and understandable would have been like, had he trapped him back in the Phantom Zone, that would have worked. But let's see what he has to say. He goes on. Ideally, through some means his foe didn't think of or was unaware of, the natural place to plant the seed for that is the setup. Yeah, when they were sending him to Earth, you could have put, Gerald could have created, some kind of, some kind of mini Phantom Zone projector, some kind of thing, and put it somewhere, some kind of compartment in the ship, and then, Superman would have found it, but he would have known exactly what it is, and then eventually he could have used it to trap Zod and the other Kryptonians back in the Phantom Zone. That could have worked rather than just killing them. And then just killing Zod. The rest of them here, but just killing Zod, that didn't really sit well with me at all. The first 30 pages of the script, in other words, is the best place to introduce an object or MacGuffin that will be important later, yeah? And in a tightly written movie, you don't see the twist coming, which was the case Dixon remarked, or with the sled rosebud in Citizen Kane. Okay, yes, like I said, it could have been the different zone projector, could have been something else, but something could have set up to do that instead of him having a kill zone. That didn't work for me at all. Wrapping up his thoughts on the subject, Dixon clarified that everything boils down to the language of cinema, which is shared and understood the world over. We understand it better than you. The bottom line is Chuck Dixon's Superman would be principled and never kill because he never have to. He's smart enough to figure a way around it. That's what I'm saying. Superman's intelligence should always be something, and that is literally used to show that not only is this character powerful, but he's also smart enough to figure out how to do things without needing to kill. That not having to kill thing is one of the things that makes Superman Superman. So you have to build around that. So they go on about it and ask the question, do you agree with Dixon? I would say yes. I think that his take on what he wants to do with the character sounds really interesting. And I, for one, think that, if given the chance and he gets an opportunity to do it, it would actually make sense. But I am very skeptical in regards to James Gunn's Superman legacy. I wasn't totally, built on the question of James Gunn doing Superman legacy to begin with. And then now we thought that, a whole plethora of people are just going to be, limboing through the whole movie, makes me even more skeptical. But overall, I kind of agree with what this Chuck Dixon, I shouldn't say kind of, I do agree with what Chuck Dixon has talked about, and I say again, one thing a lot of these things need to focus on is Superman's intelligence along with his strength and power. That is it. If you do Superman's character, powers, intelligence, and everything right, and have a story based around it that would actually work, whether it be movies or TV series, it would be very good and would draw fans back in. That's what you're looking for. That's what's important, because these characters are created in such a way that you know exactly who they are and what they do. People want to see these great stories given life. Do that, and you won't have a problem with it. Your thoughts on this in the comments. You have a different opinion, I'd love to hear it. If you like the video, make sure to hit that thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. Ring the notification bell, notify when I put out a new video. I shall see you all next time. Take care.